Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I want to talk to you about planting your own garlic. Now, garlic is one of the easiest food crops to grow, and every year I grow it all along my landscape bed edges to help prevent browsing animals. That's right, you heard me. Garlic will help deter rabbits, groundhogs, deer, and even more importantly, in-ground animals like voles that wreak havoc by eating the roots of all of your plants. Now, growing garlic is a really easy thing to do. It prefers to grow through the cool season. So for people like me living in Zone 7 in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, now is a great time to get your garlic planted. But I usually give people a really broad window, anytime between Labor Day and the New Year. Now there's two ways that you can grow garlic. Either from the clove, whether you bought it from a store, like a grocery store, or you bought it from a seed supplier, either will work, I promise you. You won't know the variety of the garlic that you buy from the grocery store, but it will grow. Or if you're like me and you had some that you missed, you'll have some vegetative pieces that you can actually just divide and replant. Remember that every clove will grow into an entire bulb by next spring. Now the planting process for garlic is really simple. You're just going to thumb it into the edge, or you can just dig a small trench no deeper than 1 inch deep. And I recommend planting your garlic pretty close together so that it will ultimately create an impenetrable barrier. I usually plant my garlic cloves about 1 inch apart. Now the garlic will grow throughout the winter season, growing first vegetatively with foliage that can be eaten. And then when growing hardneck varieties, in the spring you'll find that flower stalks will form, and it's important that you remove those because you want the energy of the plant to go into bulb production, not flowering and going to seed. The great news is garlic scapes are delicious, and you can absolutely use them in your culinary ventures in the spring when they start to form. Now garlic is really obvious when it's time to be harvested. The foliage starts to get ugly from the tips down. That's called senescing, and that's your sign that you can just walk along the edge and pull all of your garlic bulbs out. Now I recommend that you hang your garlic in an area that's out of the direct sun or rain, but in a space with very good airflow to be able to properly cure your garlic bulbs. This will ensure that they'll have the longest lasting time for you to use in your kitchen for all the different meals that you want to prepare. Now the reason that I love garlic so much in the landscape is actually twofold. For one thing, it helps deter all those animals that I have such trouble managing, but it's also bigger than that. Since 2012, 90% of the garlic sold in American stores is being transported all the way from China. And that to me just seems completely unnecessary when garlic can be grown and incorporated into every sunny landscape that exists. So make this the year that you plant some of your own garlic, help conquer that food miles crisis that we are all facing, and simultaneously direct those animals to someone else's yard. Garlic is the solution for everything. I really wish it was the gateway to vegetable gardening, because I promise you, you'll feel like a superhero once you've harvested your first round of garlic next spring. So as you can see, here I am right along the bed edge, and I'm going to first show you how easy it is to plant these vegetative pieces. Now, garlic is stimulated at temperatures below 50 for vegetative growth, which is why garlic is never sold in the refrigerated section at the grocery store. These have been growing for several months here in my Raleigh, North Carolina Zone 7 garden. They're really healthy, and I am just gonna get them thumbed into this bed edge to help prevent browse on the violas that are planted behind them, and of course the blueberries that are planted behind that. Now you can see the process is really simple. Just with my hand, I opened up a little wedge, and then about 1 inch apart, I'm just setting these in, root side down, green side up, and getting them planted. Just like that. Could it be any easier? Cover those roots up And that bed edge is planted for the season. Now let me show you how you do it from a garlic bulb. Planting from the bulb is also super easy, and you can see these have just started to push out some vegetative growth. All you're gonna do is separate the cloves into individual pieces. You don't want to take the paper off. Just pull these apart. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. Okay, so from one bulb, we ended up getting 5 really nice sized cloves. So from one bulb, I'll end up getting 5. Now I'm just gonna start right where the vegetative pieces ended, and I'm literally just thumbing it into the edge. Again, I'm planting these about 1 inch apart. And you know, root side down, green side up. And I'm just going to continue going through this entire border, as this will ultimately act as my animal deterrent for the entire winter season. One of the best things about growing your own garlic is that it's super low maintenance. Because it's a cool season crop, you don't have to irrigate it, you don't need to add any fertilizer, and because of the smelly foliage, you don't have to worry about treating it with deer spray. Again, if you look at deer repellents, you'll find that garlic is usually one of the top 3 ingredients. And that's actually why I started growing it this way, to help deter all of these creatures that come in and just have an absolute salad bar delight every night in my home garden. I have found that garlic has made a huge difference in redirecting those animals to my neighbors' yards, who are less offended by all that animal browse. Now, if you found this video to be helpful, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Bree the Plant Lady YouTube channel for more practical gardening advice from my home garden here in Zone 7, Central North Carolina. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.